This is me, Wyatt Wrestling, and I have today a special guest. You might know him, the Monday Night Recapper,
Monday Night Raw, if you missed it.
the SmackDown Recapper,
SmackDown, if you missed it.
the WrestleMania Recapper.
WrestleMania, if you missed it.
Please welcome my guest. Please welcome my best friend, my good friend, Jon Reyes, Monday Night Recapper. He's here.
What up, man?
How are you?
I'm good, bro. I'm good. I'm ready to go, brother.
All right, let's do this. Let's do the interview. First question. When did you start doing content?
When did I start doing content? So I love that question because it's a lot longer ago than most people probably realize. I started making content, editing videos, just kind of working on different things. Like I would just download YouTube videos and like cut them up into my own versions. I would find like Call of Duty commentaries like that had like cuss words on them, and I would just edit in little bleeps. Like I've been practicing this stuff and uploading to YouTube randomly since I was probably 12, 13 years old, maybe 14 max is when I started. It's because I was homeschooled back then. And so I had the opportunity to obviously be in front of a computer more. So I'm 29 now. Let's do the math and just call it 15 years, bro. 15 years been making videos. Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Pretty cool.
That's shocking.
Yeah, a lot of people don't know that. People just because obviously the Instagram that I have most of my audience on right now, it's only been around for a little over a year. So some people maybe assume I've been doing it for a couple, but it's been a slow cook for years and years and years.
Oh yeah. Okay. Second question. Why did you start doing the content, wrestling content? Do you just want to do it for fun, or do you just want to do it professionally?
Yeah, well, if you're asking specifically about the wrestling content, the reason I started making wrestling content was with the intention in mind of turning content creation into a full-time job at some point. Hasn't necessarily happened yet, but that really was the goal. I'm not going to lie to you and say it was just like a hobby or something like that, because I know a lot of people make videos just as a hobby or maybe just to practice it or just because they enjoy doing it. Obviously, I enjoy making content, making videos throughout the years, but the main reason I started the wrestling page specifically was because I had practiced enough with my content in terms of making videos, and I've gotten my skills to a certain level and my equipment as well, to where I really thought, you know what, I have a natural love for wrestling. If I combine what I've done with editing and making videos with my love of wrestling, I think I can build an audience off of it. And I was correct.
Wow. It's crazy.
Yeah, man.
That's amazing. What were some challenges you had to overcome making content?
Challenges that I've had to overcome making content would probably include a lot of mental challenges. I really think that when it comes to making content, my Achilles heel, as they say, my weak spot, is just kind of overthinking. I've noticed a lot of creators that I appreciate, not only for their quality of content, but for the volume that they put out. I've noticed it just kind of by their temperament and the way that they really don't overthink. And if they do, they at least know how to like nip it in the bud and stop it. But I think that would be my biggest challenge throughout the years has been overthinking. I remember about a year before I started the wrestling page, I had an MMA page where I was making content about the UFC and, just kind of teaching people how to become fans of the UFC, just giving them the information as to, how to learn the rules and things like that. And I was just making content with that, but I would really overthink a lot during that time too. I would really overthink quite a bit. Whereas I look back on that season and I'm just like, if I would have just done right, act, and then maybe kind of think later, right, I probably would have seen a little bit more success on that page. And I kind of see the same with like my wrestling content. If I'm being honest, I love making the videos, but I think being just, that bad trait of being a perfectionist when it comes to content, people talk about it a lot. Like being a perfectionist when it comes to content just is not a good thing. You can like tell yourself it's a good thing, but it's not a good thing. The better thing is to not worry about it being perfect. It's never going to be perfect, especially in your mind, since you're the artist, you're the one making it. So just go and just do, and that's it. So I think overthinking has been a real obstacle to overcome, and that's kind of been the game for me. It's just been how to, on a daily basis, constantly thinking about how to kind of get past that mental block that keeps rearing its ugly head.
Wow, I agree with you on that. Overthinking is the hardest challenge for me as well,
Yeah.
making wrestling content, because what are we gonna do if we're not? It's not. Is it not gonna be a good content or like?
Bro, it's just this weird thing, man. But the more you watch closely at the people succeeding in content creation, the more you realize they're just doing. They're not over. They're not worried about the. I saw a video one time. It was Kobe Bryant, and this kind of it lays in my mind, but for some reason it's harder to put it into practice. But it was Kobe Bryant, and it's a very famous portion of an interview he has out there, where he just talks about like he was basically just talks about like I'm not obsessed with the result. And you hear this from a lot of successful people. They're not obsessed with what is the result going to be. And the reason why for Kobe was this: either way, I got to put these sneakers on and come back at it again tomorrow and I got to fight again. So that's something I try and like arm myself in my mind with. Like, okay, I'm doing all this thinking as to whether or not this idea or this specific video is going to land and do well. Whether it does well or not, guess what? I got to show up again the next day and the next day and the next day. So it's this useless kind of, it's just, I think it's our minds like a defense mechanism where we just try and, try and protect ourselves kind of just by thinking, oh, we're being productive by overthinking or overanalyzing, but it really just paralyzes you. And it's something that I've dealt with and that I know a lot of people have dealt with as well when it comes to creativity.
Wow. Okay. Okay. I like that. I like that. Easy question. What is your favorite wrestling move and why?
My favorite wrestling move and why? Oh, that's such a wild question. I don't know if anybody's ever asked me that. What's my favorite wrestling move? You know what? I think I'm gonna go with the Tombstone Pile Driver. I think I got to go with the Tombstone Pile Driver. It to me is such a believably awful move to do to somebody. Like, and then the other portion of it, and the reason I love it so much is like, bro, especially like the Undertaker and even Kane at certain points in time, they made it look so awful every single time. I mean, that person's head is like pounding, spiking their neck into the canvas, and yet they're protected. Right, so that match at WrestleMania 25 with Shawn Michaels, perfect example of that. Multiple, bro, and it's just, it's a vile looking move, and it's just so iconic too. And I also love the fact that nobody does it in WWE today. Nobody currently does the Tombstone Pile Driver. It's almost like a jersey of like a famous player that's been retired. I'm not saying no one ever will do it again, but it's kind of like there's a lot of reverence and respect around the Tombstone Pile Driver because of the Undertaker. So Tombstone Pile Driver, favorite move of all time.
All right. All right. Another easy question. What is your favorite wrestling match or moment from wrestling?
My favorite wrestling match or favorite wrestling moment? Well, one that stands out just because it's connected to my inner child is when Eddie Guerrero won the WWE Championship at No Way Out against Brock Lesnar. I believe it was Brock Lesnar, yeah. And bro, oh my goodness, the promos of his leading up to that. I just remember being a kid and not being able to afford pay-per-views. I didn't watch No Way Out back then, but obviously looking back on like the footage of that and just the impact it had, it was such a huge title change in WWE history. And for that era too, it's one of the biggest in that era of like the early 2000s. Yeah, that's gotta, if I had to pick one, I might say that. If I had a little more time to think about it, oh man, when it comes to matches, there's so many. Okay, my number one overall match and moment, just because I just know it's this, is WrestleMania 28, Hell in a Cell, Undertaker versus Triple H. It's got my favorite wrestler of all time, Triple H, in it, and Shawn Michaels as the guest referee. That's got to be it. My mom surprised us with that pay-per-view. I didn't know we were watching it until I got home from like church in the afternoon time, and then she had it on the channel where it was just doing like the pre-roll stuff. That was one of the best nights of my wrestling life ever. So WrestleMania 28, end of an era match.
That was greatest wrestling match of all time. That was awesome.
I swear,
love
bro.
that match. Question number 6. Favorite wrestling gimmick?
Ooh, favorite wrestling gimmick. Favorite wrestling gimmick. I think my favorite wrestling gimmick of all time had to be this is what comes to mind immediately, and I can't think of another one. JBL when he turned from Bradshaw to John Bradshaw Layfield. That was also kind of in the prime of my wrestling viewing. And I mean, dude, I don't think a lot of people knew what that man was capable of. as a single star until that run. And boy, did he. I just couldn't. I genuinely. This was when I was like not even that young. Like I was getting a little bit older, and I hated him so much. I really, really despised him. Uh, and so I don't know, JBL. He just seemed like he believed everything he was saying. It didn't seem like a gimmick. So JBL.
JBL. Okay, okay. Question number 7. Favorite wrestling promotion and why?
Favorite wrestling promotion and why? Favorite wrestling promotion and why? Is this including WWE or do I include WWE?
You can. You can.
Okay. So my favorite wrestling promotion of all time, it has to be WWE, and it's not even just for what it is today. It's literally for the history of it as well. Obviously he's undergone some just a lot of scrutiny and some bad stuff just that he's done, Vince McMahon. But when I look back at those years, there's it is just wild to me how the mind, the brain in that human being is just responsible for so much of what wrestling is today. And so for better or for worse, man, WWE, even back through its World Wrestling Federation days and all of that, I just think it has been the chosen heartbeat of wrestling all time. And despite the poor leadership that it's had at times, I just and even a lot of people might scrutinize the leadership today and not like the direction it's going in today. Some people have that opinion. Regardless, WWE is wrestling. It just is wrestling, and I think it always will be. So WWE, I would have to say, if number 2, I would say TNA back in like 2006, like the old TNA days. Sting, Rhino was there, Christian Cage. That'd be a close second. So
All right. All right. I like that. I like that answer. What is the easiest thing to do on making content? It's the easiest thing.
the easiest thing to do when it comes to making content, the easiest thing to do when it comes to making content. You know what? I'll say the thing that comes most naturally to me is scripting. Scripting videos and picking out the exact words to share specifically for whatever thoughts I'm having. Like, so it's kind of this mode that I kind of just tap into where I'm sitting here at this desk and I just kind of let my mind travel and move and just it's almost like a flow state. I don't want to use the word easy because that's the part where overthinking kind of snipes me beforehand, right? But if I can move past the overthinking part, right? The video I put out about WrestleMania leaving New Orleans, perfect example of not thinking about it, just sitting down and scripting. So I'd say that's the part that comes most naturally to me, scripting videos.
Okay. Okay. Question number 9. Would you work for a wrestling promotion, and which one would you choose?
I would work for a wrestling promotion, absolutely. It would be less about which one I would choose, and more about just like whichever promotion was most interested in the vision that I have, right? So just whatever role I would play specifically, those conversations would have to be thorough. So it's less about which one I would choose and more so just that, just however those conversations would go. Now, that being said, if WWE wanted to sign me or work with me in any way, it would matter a little less. You know what I mean? Because at that point, I'm just like, okay, whatever you guys see from me, I'm gonna probably trust that within reason, right? Because I've heard how that kind of goes. Sometimes if you don't have enough of vision for yourself, you can get lost in it all and whatever. So WWE above everything else, but outside of that, the other companies, it would just be about the conversations as to what role I'd fit in.
I see. I see. Okay. Question 10. The last question, and then we'll play our little game I made.
All right.
Who is your favorite wrestler of all time?
Triple H.
Triple H.
No question about it. Hands down, Triple H. Just everything about him. Love him.
All right. All right. Let's play our little game. Blind rank these intercontinental champions without knowing who comes next.
Oh my God. Let's do it.
First person, Ultimate Warrior.
Is this top 10?
Top 6.
Top 6? Okay. Ultimate Warrior, Intercontinental Champions. I'm going to go Ultimate Warrior's number 4.
4. Shawn Michaels.
Shawn Michaels is number 2.
Okay. Luke Harper.
Number 6.
Gunther.
Number 3.
Dominic Mysterio.
Number 5. Who's number 1, bro?
Main event, Jey Uso.
Hey, all right, that's decent. Oh my god, a lot of people would be upset with me because of the short reign or whatever, but whatever, man. Yeah, that was a tough blind rank. I probably didn't score too high on a lot of people's lists, but yeah, if we could put Shawn Michaels first, Gunther second, Jay third, then I guess that'd be all right. No, people would still get mad because Jay would be over Ultimate Warrior. Whatever, man. I'm going with Yeet.
Yeet.
Yeet. Yeet. Yeet. Yeet.
Yeet.
Thank you for coming out, man. It was an honor talking to you today about your content, your wrestling, playing a game with you, and we'll definitely do another one of these in the near future. I don't know. I'm lost to words right now. I don't know.
No, bro. Yeah, no, that was awesome. Thank you for having me, man. I really appreciate it. And listen, if this part makes the video, anybody watching this, make sure you follow Wyatt Wrestling because this is a passionate wrestling fan. I've known him, I think, for almost a year now off my content. And this guy really loves wrestling. Really excited to see your journey and where you end up going, Wyatt, because your passion for it is very, very clear. And that passion, if you just lean into it and don't worry and just have fun, it's going to take you places, bro. So within content or elsewhere, bro, I'm excited to see where you go. And again, thanks for having me.
It was an honor. And we got to play a little music.
Yes, sir.
Before I let you go.
Run it.
Oh, bro, you got
to match it. Yeah. Yes, sir. Let's go. You're the man, Wyatt.
Thank you. And good night, everybody. Thank you, everybody. Thank you. John is an amazing person. Thank him for coming out. Tomorrow we will be seeing my editor, Ryan Melky Hill. He'll be in the studio tomorrow. Thank you all, and good night.